Pope-mobile, that's all I'm saying. Make it available to the public. All right, was it just all talk? Today we are learning that concerted efforts by the current Secretary of State, John Kerry, and the last one, Hillary Rodham Clinton, well, even after all that, there's been no reset in relations between Russia and the United States. Remember this? Back in 2009, Hillary and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, well, this is today's video of Lavrov in Italy, but you all remember the video of Hillary and Lavrov hitting the reset button. Well, today Lavrov saying, and Russian state media saying, that there's been no reset in these relations, qualifying that statement by saying, though, both sides engage in a, quote, pragmatic and realistic dialogue. But what does that get us in terms of international security? With us now for more on this is Newsmax Now regular and Washington Times columnist Todd Wood. Todd, always great to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me back on, John.
All right, so when we hear Lavrov say this today, that there's been no reset after 5 years of discussion, 6 years of discussion, who seems to have gotten played worse? Hillary, John Kerry, or the entire Obama administration?
Well, what Americans need to realize is that Russia respects power, it respects force, it respects opposition in a concerted way. And when you bend over and try to be nice, basically, you look weak, and they take that as weakness, and they're going to run with it. And that's basically what's happened here. I would have to say that the Obama administration has gotten the short end of the stick on this, and Putin's on the march.
Of course, when you hear this from Lavrov today, you'd have to expect this. They're playing mind games on the international stage, calling out the Obama administration. But what do you make of this statement coming today with Lavrov in Italy?
I think he's telling the truth. I mean, there has not really been a reset because, Russia didn't really want a reset. Russia wants something different, which is to reestablish their power as a global player. And that's what they proceeded to do. They're doing it in multiple different places. They're looking to get the dollar out of their economic transactions. They're moving forward into lands where they are allowed to, basically. And they're continuing to threaten parts of NATO and also try to pull some of the Eastern European countries over toward the new economic Eurasian Union that they're putting together.
A couple of other things we should mention today. Russia and Ukraine, things are getting very tense in there again. Also, Russia claiming that it was the Ukraine who shot down the Malaysian Airlines jetliner. And we're hearing reports that a Russian fighter plane buzzed U.S. assets. I can't remember exactly where it was, but maybe in the Balkan Sea. What do you think is the end game here, or are we just going to have to deal with this until there is no more Vladimir Putin running Russia?
When Russia takes care of the government it has is up in the air. It could happen at any time. It will happen without notice if there's some type of internal revolt, if they're feeling too much pressure from the West or internally from their own people. That we can't really call. But what I can say is that they will continue to push and to get what they can from the West, economically, geographically, everything, until they're told to stop. So the only reason, or they're shown that they cannot go any further, the only way to effectively deal with Russia is to put up a forceful front. And my suggestion is to do that along the Eastern European nations of NATO, from the Baltics all the way down. And that is to show that there are real consequences to taking territory in those areas or to be threatening those populations.
So we're talking about things like, a while back the Obama administration had planned to put some missiles in Poland, a missile defense system in Poland, but that was then shifted and placed in Turkey for political reasons. Do you think it's time now that the Obama administration goes strong and announce some sort of plan like that, a missile defense system somewhere in Eastern Europe?
Well, what scares me and what I think that Putin and China and Iran and others see and feel is that they have less than 2 years to get what they want. I don't think the Obama administration is going to do anything seriously to stand up against these threats out there, at least not effectively. Maybe they'll make a show of it, but we've seen how their red lines are held up. So I think the players that are against us, Russia, et cetera, have less than 2 years to get this done. The only way to really, confront this is to put armor in Eastern Europe.
All right, Todd, we got to wrap it up right there because
we're
going to commercial break, but that's a good point. You're going to stick around with us. We'll continue our conversation coming up after this commercial break during our roundtable.